Hello, everybody. How is, let's just go make sure my audio is working here. Just want to make sure that's coming up. Yes, it is. How is everybody doing today? Really happy that you guys could be joining us for today's session. We are stoked right now to basically be kind of giving you a, kind of an extended webinar content. We're going to be doing a lot more webinar content on basically 3 times a week. We're going to be talking about Instafarms today, but we have a lot of content on our schedule coming up for the rest of the week as well. So on Thursday, tomorrow, we are going to be discussing Facebook ads and basically how to execute one, best practices for that. And then on Friday, we are going to be doing basically a webinar that is going to be just kind of general question, kind of a session where you can kind of ask anything you want, and I'll kind of, handle your questions as they come in and get them taken care of. So let's get started today with Instafarm pages. I know that you guys can probably hear my audio without an issue. Looks like there is just maybe a little bit of a slowdown when it comes to the video side of things. So just keep that in mind as you're watching. You might experience a little bit of buffering, but you can always come back and watch this video at a later date to kind of get all the information from it. So basically today, we're going to be talking about the app, generating SEO value site, and then just getting more organic traffic. So top things that we recommend folks be doing when they first come on with EasyAgentPro is creating these basically these Instafarm pages to basically your area for the actual areas that a little bit of traffic for, and to also basically just kind of generate a little bit more organic traffic coming into the site. So looks like my stream health is not great here. So I'm going to do something kind of tricky. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop my share, and I am going to then start it back up again to see if we can get a better connection. And let's see if that refreshes there. Should look a little bit better now, guys. I've got a fabulous website pulled up here, searchsaltlake.com, which is one of our favorite agents. His name is Dustin Brome. He operates out there in Utah. And just give me just a moment here to make sure that everything is hunky-dory. Believe that we are seeing just a little bit of a strain on the internet today. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and just kind of get through it. If you guys have any questions, as always, you can chat here. And let me know if you, basically want any clarification or anything, or me to go over anything else. So first thing that we're going to start with is just checking out a couple really great Instafarm pages, just to kind of give you guys an example of really what your goal should be when you're putting these together. Now, when you get your EasyAgentPro website for the first time, you're kind of turned loose on it. We have in the back end, there's a progress bar, or rather a progress page, so to speak. You're going to find it in this tab right here next to your lead section. And one of those suggestions is to create some Instafarm pages. Now, we have a really fabulous tool that we can use from an administrative standpoint to kind of tell what the top folks that are using EasyAgentPro are doing on a day-to-day basis. And I can tell you right now that the folks that are getting the most amount of leads and a lot of traffic are really utilizing the Instafarm tool to great effect. And that doesn't have to look like, creating a couple dozen pages. It really just means that you're, creating good Instafarm pages and kind of maintaining them on a week-by-week basis, and just really adding content to them, and just making sure that you're, basically just kind of doing the best you can to maintain those pages so that they have good content on them. So let's give us an example here of a really great Instafarm page. So this is Salt Lake City Homes for Sale. I love showing this one off because it is always ranks #1 if somebody searches Salt Lake City homes for sale or moving to Salt Lake City or anything along those lines. It always ranks way up there in terms of the, basically the, kind of Google ranking. So Dustin has created a really great page here where, we've got, obviously the map is integrated at the top here, and I'll show you guys how this all works in the back end. You can click here to expand this video. This is just a really beautiful kind of bird's eye view drone shot of Salt Lake City. Down below that, he's got just a quick search. I think this is kind of cool. You can drop in a short code very easily on the website to kind of put a search anywhere. That's always a clever idea because even though there's IDX searches on this page, basically, you do have the option to, kind of give somebody the option to go ahead and search for something too. So, and yeah, Liza, thank you so much for that info. I know it's a little bit slow. Looks like we're maybe having a localized internet problem of some kind. The cool thing about this is that this talk is going to be recorded and re-uploaded to YouTube, so you can watch it again and it won't be, kind of slowed down. So yeah, underneath that, Dustin has just a little bit more content about Salt Lake City. So he's got some, what he just says, kind of semi-boring facts about Salt Lake City. These are good opportunities, though, to be creating links on the page. So, we have population for Salt Lake City Metro. This isn't a hyperlink, but this could easily be a hyperlink out to a resource demonstrating that. Medium home price for Salt Lake County. He has here, this actually links out to a blog post that he wrote for Salt Lake City real estate market update. And it's actually Q2 of 2016. So even though this is a little bit old, that really fantastic SEO value that it's generated over time still means that it's going to rank really well. So that's kind of the key thing about creating these pages and maintaining them over time, is that even if you have a page that's a little bit older and a little bit, it's not necessarily out of date, but just kind of an older resource, it can still rank really well and will just appear again and again and again and again on Google searches. So this is just out to a blog post that he has written on the website. That is a little bit of a tip right there. So let's go ahead and fire this up. So when I open this up in a new tab, we're going to say this is a blog post that he wrote about Salt Lake City real estate, kind of market update. So as you scroll down this page, you can see that he's written a great deal about home values and things like that. Along the way, he has a link to a ebook here. He has links out to all the various other neighborhoods on the website, as well as a map search. He has a, this is kind of cool. This is probably set up via MailChimp, how to get the newest blog posts in your inbox, and then just like his little bio at the bottom there. So, he links out to a page that also has a huge link map on it. So he's linking to all these other various kind of homes for sale pages. I know if I popped open Cottonwood Heights or Daybreak, he would probably be linking back to this real estate blog. And that's just always a good idea, is to do that kind of interlinking within the website. Now, as we scroll down the page, we're going to see here that he's got this article, Moving to Salt Lake City. He's actually got it linked twice right here, just to kind of draw your attention to it. Again, that is a really, really, really good thing to do, because you want to be linking out to other resources on your site that are also, little SEO bombs. That Moving to Salt Lake City page, even though it's a blog post, it's not an Instafarm, is still just a great resource to be linking to on the actual website itself. So let's just fire this open. And it's just a really, really fabulous kind of guide that he has here. This is like an infographic style guide, with these various things on it. And then as we scroll down, you're going to see that he just has a lot of writing. So this isn't something that is done overnight, of course. If you are the type of person that isn't super familiar with writing, it's definitely something that you can kind of add to over time. You don't necessarily have to be able to, sit down and bang this out over 2 hours. You can always, add things to it. You can really fine tune these over time. Same thing kind of goes for the Instafarm pages themselves. And then we pop back over here to the Instafarm. So as you can see, he's got just a lot of content on here. So he's got, again, more links. This is a link out to the top 10 most expensive homes in Salt Lake City right now. That's kind of a fun blog post that you can write in conjunction with an Instafarm page. So say you were making an Instafarm page for, Echo Park, a neighborhood that's in Los Angeles, something like that. You can just run, let's go ahead and open this up. You can run an IDX search for Echo Park, Los Angeles, and then just pull up the 10 most expensive homes in that area. And then what he did is that he just kind of copied over some info about it. And it's basically just has all these, a picture, a little bit of info about the actual spot itself, and then a little short description. These are just kind of like that listicle style, like really fun to write and fun for folks to read style thing that really do well for clickability on the page. And then down below this, he has other things. So he has a link out to a blog post he wrote about 10 best kid-friendly parks, how to appeal a parking ticket in Salt Lake City. That's a great idea. You guys should just go ahead and steal that idea right now. Just a link out to, so these have been all blog posts so far. So 10 most expensive homes, 10 best kid-friendly parks, parking ticket resource. But you can also just, kind of link out to other resources too. So that's like, visit saltlake.com. This is a TripAdvisor. This is one that he wrote about Topgolf coming to Salt Lake City. And then again, just that market update again. So he's linked to the same resources several times on the site. That's a good idea because it gets that link in front of folks really often. And it's just good for SEO too. It's like you should be linking out back and forth between pages that are doing well. And that's really going to kind of boost things. And it's something that you can start small with. You can start with your Instafarm page. You can have a couple paragraphs on there, and then just write a blog post about why you should be moving there. Link them back and forth, and then just kind of expand from there. That's something that you can do in a very short amount of time, just kind of over a quick period of time. So, and it's really the kind of content that you should be focusing on, right now while you're working from home and you've got folks that are out there trolling the internet and looking for listings. And then down underneath that, he just has Salt Lake City homes for sale. I guarantee you this is just listed as most expensive to least expensive. I know that some real estate agents have a little bit of a different philosophy about this, where like they maybe want to cap the listings on the site at a specific price point because maybe their intended clientele or their market might look a little bit different than this. But I think it's always a good idea just to kind of go big with it. Anybody looking at this website is going to think, oh, okay, these are just organized most expensive to least expensive. And the thing about it, though, is that you then get some really sexy homes in front of people immediately. The thing that you want folks to be doing on your website is clicking links. You want people to be looking at things. You want them to be looking at IDX on the website. So this one right here, Walker Lane, I'm not looking for a $9 million home, but if I was somebody with a little time to kill on Dustin's site, I'm definitely going to be clicking on these listings to look at pictures of them. And the more time somebody spends on your site, the better. So definitely leave that kind of most expensive IDX search up top there. And then somebody can always search for something that they want to look for otherwise. And then underneath that, he just has a little guide to Salt Lake City real estate, which is basically just kind of like a little promo for, Dustin and his company itself. And then why you should choose him as a realtor. So it's really just kind of a basic information at the bottom. And then he has like an image gallery down here too. So, this is just an SEO bomb in every way, shape, or form. He's got a lot of links. He's got links up to the contact page, his Facebook, still has Google Plus on there, and then just back to searchsaltlake.com as well. So this is just a good example of a website, of an Instafarm page that is just really crushing it. This ranks really, really well for Salt Lake City homes for sale, moving to Salt Lake City. This ranks well for that, as well as his blog post too. So this is just a good example of just kind of a way that you can, kind of start a fire with it so that you actually have, some really engaging, Instafarm pages on your website. Now, I wanted to show another example here. Hop over to one that looks a little bit more traditional. This is ElDoradoHillsRealEstateAgent.com. This is John and Shannon Yaffe, who operate in the El Dorado Hills section of California. This is, you're going to notice that the design is a little bit different. So like this has the video expanded already with like a lead capture form here versus this, which typically has that like click to play video and then the form here. So those are just two different templates that we offer, and you can see those within the Instafarm app. And then as you scroll down here, you're gonna see some really great stuff. So he says right off the bat, scroll to the bottom of the page for listings that are, kind of for sale right now. He has some really great links right up top here with sources. So like this is out to Business Insider, Wallet Hub. Got some great information about El Dorado Hills. See the home you can afford in El Dorado Hills. We'll pull up a real estate trends tab that he has. So again, like these are just, and then he has links out to the various school districts. So John has a slightly different approach where he's not just linking to necessarily to blog posts that he wrote on the site, but he's linking out to different resources, which is always a good idea too. El Dorado Hills Town Center, that's going to link out to a separate website. Looks like that might be a kind of like a shopping mall outside amphitheater type thing. As you scroll down the page, you're going to see that he's got a lot of content here. And by content, I mean word count. So he's got a high word count on the page, which is very important. Down below that, he has a little, this looks like an actual, like a widget that he may have embedded from Wallet Hub. And all this is Wallet Hub's best places in California to raise a family, with El Dorado Hills being number 4. So this is just kind of cool because it's a little interactive, kind of gets somebody clicking around here. Say I click on one of these, Redding, California. It really just has the rankings and that's it. So you can also kind of pull on this slider as well. Again, just kind of like a little clickable interactive thing that kind of gets people spend a little bit of time on the site. And then down below that, you're going to see that John actually has, information, kind of right away. So it's got the phone number and an email link, and then a contact form here as well. And then if we scroll farther down the page, then we're going to see an image gallery pop up here. We're going to see things to do in El Dorado Hills here. So we have, activities. He's got, again, links out to a lot of really fantastic resources. These are cool. So this is just him linking out to different Google Maps kind of things too. So again, John is taking the approach of linking out to resources. So RIS Brewing Company, things along those lines. Really great. And then on the right-hand side here has just information about the school districts themselves. And then underneath that, he has just like a little Google Maps kind of embed. This is always kind of a fun thing to do. If you guys don't know how to do this, you basically can make like a list of favorite places, and then Google Maps, like basically all of the Google products that are out there, allow you to, create a little clickable, embeddable thing here. So we can just kind of go in here, and then we can kind of see, information about it. So, and these are actually, so those blue links right there are going to be listings that he represented. And then there's going to be, other information about listings too. So this is actually something that's not automated via the IDX. John actually maintains that himself. And then finally down here's the IDX listing. So again, he's taken the method of, actually having the most expensive listings first. But as you can see, the real power of this page is not the fact that there's just IDX listings on it, but rather all of this great content. It's just information that's on here. It's a high word count, it's a lot of links. And that's really what you should be focusing on, is having a high word count and having lots of links to outside resources or like blog posts that you wrote about. So we had a question over here. Dawn asks, what does his backend page info look like? So let's go ahead and take a look here. So I'm going to just pop into the apps section. And I am going to look at the Instafarm app. So I'm going to scroll down here. And let's see here. So El Dorado Hills homes for sale. I'm going to go ahead and edit so that we can actually just take a look and kind of see what it looks like. So you're going to see that this has a 100% SEO score. So this is really kind of whipping it in terms of, the actual, kind of score that you can have, for a page on the website. So if I scroll down all the way to the bottom here, we're going to be able to see, kind of what he wrote. So as we can see, Title of the page is El Dorado Hills Homes for Sale - current listings. URL is El Dorado Hills Homes for Sale. And then Dawn, this is where, kind of that meta description is. Named the friendliest place in America by Nextdoor and #4 best place in California for families by NerdWallet. El Dorado Hills Homes offers something for everybody. And the reason that he includes homes here is because his focus keyword is El Dorado Hills Homes. And that idea there is that you're going to intuit something that somebody is going to search for when they're actually searching for on the internet. They're not going to search for El Dorado Hills without attaching some kind of real estate fixture to it. Nobody's really probably going to search for El Dorado Hills real estate. Maybe if they're an investor, they're going to be searching in those terms. If you're a home buyer, you're going to be looking for El Dorado Hills Homes or El Dorado Hills Homes for Sale. So it's really just whichever one you want to pick there. You're going to see that his keyword was used 12 times, which is pretty good. And then his post has 935 words, which is really good, and 52 links. And as you can see for these two sections right here, guys, the word count and the link count, you're going to see that it's not a balance. You basically have too few words or you cannot have enough. So just make sure that word count is really high and that link count is really high too. That doesn't go for keyword. You can definitely get dinged for using the keyword too many times. So absolutely make sure that you're kind of having a good balance of keywords there. And then finally, at the bottom, what we call kind of Google friendly tips. He used lots of images in his content. Those are those image galleries that we saw. He used his keyword in the URL because our keyword, El Dorado Hills Homes, and the URL is El Dorado Hills Homes for Sale, and then keyword in the title. So that's always a good idea too. So this is just a good example of kind of how it looks. You can kind of see some of it as he filled it in here. He's got his big links. I'll expand this a little bit. All that information about it. So as you guys can see, it doesn't look, this is a great looking page. It's absolutely going to attract folks to it. I talk to a lot of people on a day-to-day basis that are very concerned about things like the aesthetics of a page and how it looks. And, that might be, if you're selling homes to celebrities, that might be kind of one thing. But the really important thing to keep in mind when it comes to an Instafarm page is the content that's on it. So, this is going to still look good on the front end of the page, but if you get a little bit too kind of bogged down in the details of like, oh, I don't like how these links look, or, I really wish that I had more to play with in terms of formatting, you're never going to finish the page. You're going to be too concerned with how it looks, and somebody is blowing ahead of you by just loading a page with links. They're going to get #1 on Google. They're going to get the clicks while you're a little bit too concerned about video backgrounds. Sorry, I'm a little bit frustrated by that with a conversation I had earlier today. So, just make sure that, you're just pumping this thing full of links. And then we have our image gallery down here. And then these are the two areas that we talked about, things to do. Looks great. And then this is that other one for the school district in particular. Also looks really good. This is how he just kind of iframed in that kind of code that we saw before. If you want any tips for how to do that, just go ahead and email us and we'll kind of hook you up with that info. And then finally down at the bottom, got the IDX shortcode put in. And then this is kind of the cool part, is that he then broke it down by all the other neighborhoods in his area, which is always a good idea to link out to all of your other Instafarm pages from a central Instafarm page. So if you have, El Dorado Hills, link out to everything else. And then on your Bass Lake Village page, just copy this same link map and pop it over there too. So always a good idea to have as many links as possible on this page. Liza King asks, so Instapage is not a page about a farm area, right? Meant neighborhood, or is it? So yeah, so an Instafarm page can be as broad or as narrow as you want it to be. So basically, you want an Instafarm page to be about whatever area you want to get leads from. So for some folks, that might be, a very small, narrow kind of MLS area. There could just be a neighborhood that's like 2 streets or something along those lines. For other folks, they might have an Instafarm page for something big. My recommendation to you, Liza, Dawn, Maurice, everybody that's in here, is that you kind of got to get a little bit of a niche going on, or a niche rather, in that way. And by a niche, I mean, you have to pick a neighborhood that is not going to be completely slammed out. So Dustin Brome, who we looked at with Salt Lake City Homes for Sale, he was a good example of somebody that got very good results for a huge real estate market. Now, if you're just starting off the bat and you're trying to do Houston Homes for Sales or any town in Florida, basically, the whole city, it's going to be really hard to kind of get a market share going on there. But if you are finding a very small neighborhood within that, and then you can really hammer on that, then you're going to find your niche and you're going to get a lot more results in that regard, because you basically want to be picking and choosing from Google searches that have a little bit more breathing room on them. If somebody searches Houston Homes for Sale, there's going to be tens of millions of results. But a small neighborhood within Houston that's a little up and coming or has a particular kind of character to it, that might only have a couple 100,000. Boom, that's the one that you would choose and the one that you would make your Instafarm page about. Alex Lowe asks, are most of his links from Wallet Hub? Not familiar. Yeah, so I know that I don't think most of his links are from Wallet Hub, but he has a bunch from Wallet Hub. Wallet Hub is just kind of a cool, like, it's like a resource for like financial planning almost. I know that Wallet Hub has a lot of articles about, different things that you should do when it comes to, specific finances. So they definitely do rank things in terms of, best areas to live and things along those lines. So Wallet Hub is a good resource to pull some links from if you're putting together a page like this. Great question, Alex. Thank you for that one. Awesome, guys. We've had some really fantastic questions today. So I just wanted to show you guys, how on the front end a really good Instafarm page works. If you guys log into the back ends of your website and you haven't made an Instafarm page yet, absolutely, kind of check it out. It is kind of a form that you just fill out. My recommendation would be just to kind of pop some stuff in there, get an IDX search on there, preview it, see what it looks like, mess around with it a little bit more. And then once you get the hang of it, creating these pages is really easy. Again, like I was saying, we are privy, EasyAgentPro, we're privy to the information that our clients, kind of give us from what they're doing on their website on a day-to-day basis. And I can tell you that the folks that are having a lot of leads come in and they're having really, really fabulous search results with Google are making Instafarm pages. And they're not making dozens of Instafarm pages. They might even just have one really good Instafarm page. I forget what the name of it was, but we had folks come on, there was a very specific property tax in a county in Northern California, and it was a huge Google search. It had a funny Latin name that I can't think of right now, but these folks just basically made an Instafarm page about that and a couple blog posts about that, and they just dominate search results for it. And they get so many leads from folks, kind of coming in that are looking for information about that. So just, think about what that niche is in your area and, kind of how you can lock down on it a little bit more. And you don't need 10 of these. You don't need 10 pages that are filled with information like the Salt Lake City page. I mean, it would help. It would be really good, but it's something that you can start now, have a little content, add to it, spend 5 minutes here and there. Your kids are probably home from school right now and driving you crazy. Make them research the 10 best restaurants in whatever neighborhood you want to farm from, and say you'll give them $10 to write up a little bit about it, and then use that content. Whatever you can do to be creative in this time, to be adding a little bit more content to your website is the thing that you're going to want to be doing right now, because as folks come on, it's going to be really great. Liza asks, can we post our Instagram pages on Google, or how do they find them? So really, Liza, the idea is that somebody would be able to find this organically over time. If somebody's searching for Salt Lake City Homes for Sale, they're going to stumble upon, your Salt Lake City Homes for Sale page within a Google search. But you can also promote these too. So we know a lot of people do promote them with Facebook ads and things like that, just to kind of get a little bit of traffic going. Alex, so actually when you create an Instafarm page, and let me go to this edit a post here. So if we were editing a post or making a new one, you're going to see this little tick box here that says add to menu. And typically what that will do is everybody that is an EasyAgentPro client has this little feature tab in their menu. You can edit it to say something else, maybe to say neighborhoods. But if that little add to menu box is ticked, it is going to basically appear underneath featured when somebody hovers over it. So it's going to nest there automatically. If you have any trouble with that, just reach out to support. We'll help you get it fixed up. And Maurice has a question. Does EAP have an integration with Zapier? I want my leads to go directly to my lead site CRM. Absolutely. Yeah. So Maurice, if you have any questions about Zapier or how to get an integration going, I would recommend just reaching out to support@easyagentpro.com and we'll get you fixed up with some info in that regard. So, all right, guys, that is going to do it for today. Had a lot of great questions. Thank you for joining us. Alex, Liza, Dawn, Maurice, thank you for all your questions. And yeah, this particular webinar will be viewable on our YouTube channel. If you guys missed anything in the beginning or if the connection was slow or anything like that, let us know if you have any questions. We're here to help right now, and I'd be more than happy to chat with you. So join us tomorrow, same time. We're going to be talking about Facebook ads. We're going to be basically going on how to basically run a Facebook ad. So we're going to be starting with a squeeze page, making a Facebook ad, talking a little bit about retargeting. It's going to be a really great session. Hopefully we'll see you guys there and talk to you soon.